For more, I'm now joined by Dr. Robert Marbut, former White House homelessness czar and senior fellow with Discovery Institute. Thank you for taking the time for us tonight. This is a very important issue. We just read off all the recent data there, putting it into perspective. Let's start with one of the states with the biggest homelessness crisis, California. Since 2019, California has spent about $22 billion in homelessness, and the state is still struggling with more than 185,000 homeless individuals, topping New York, Washington, Florida. Is this type of investment, $22 billion, can it fix the homeless problem? Can you just throw money at it? What do you think?
Absolutely not. The problem in California in particular, they pursued a policy called Housing First. And it is not the solution, it's the problem. They've tripled the spending in a matter of basically a little over a decade. They've tripled the spending. And instead of ending homelessness, they came back last week when all these new horrible numbers came out. And they said, you know what, we need to spend more money. So they're calling for more money when the program they've designed is not working.
So you're saying it's going to go from bad to worse. And I got to be completely honest, I am from California. You know, I spent time in Northern California and in Southern California, and I have family in San Francisco and in Sacramento. So I know California well, and it is a huge problem. But the situation in parts of California beginning to look more like Hollywood film than what we would expect to see in our cities and streets. LA Times described some of the homeless as severely incapacitated, you know, and quote, staggering about like ghosts. I wish there was a solution. How do we fix this problem? What are the concrete solutions in your eyes that really could actually make a difference? I mean, look at this video. This isn't crazy. This is crazy.
What the video you're showing is part of the 32.8% increase that has occurred in the last 4 years. And it's because the federal government in California in particular have pursued Housing First, which, to way oversimplify it, says, we're going to give you a lot of free stuff. We're going to give you housing vouchers. We're going to give you food. We're going to give you transportation. But we're not going to work on your core issue, which on the pictures you're showing here in LA and California, 75% of the people on the streets in California have an untreated mental illness and a substance abuse issue. And those are the two issues we need to be focusing on. And we should be focusing on that treatment and then move to get people job ready and employment. That's how you handle it, not throwing more money. Because the fact is, remember, if you go back 10 years, the Obama-Biden administration said they were going to end homelessness in 10 years, and instead it's tripled.
So we mentioned that report off the top that more and more Americans are living in motels across the country due to rising costs. I know I've done stories on seniors who are, forced to go back into work because they just can't keep up, right? Inflation impacting everyone. Will it lead to a spike in homelessness, you think?
I think you have to look at homelessness very holistically and get to the root causes. And housing costs, especially on the family side, is very important. But on the single male, single female, the adult, the pictures you were just showing, for the most part, that is literally street level homelessness, untreated mental illness with substance use disorders. And that's where we need to be focusing on first. And if you do that, then the housing will work and a job will be sustained. And soon a person will be off to market rate housing themselves, which is the ultimate goal, is not to create a lot of people subsidized by the government, but help get people out of homelessness for good.
With the Olympics coming to LA 2020, I know it seems like it's so far away, but it's really not. What is the city planning to do to clean up the streets and help those in need? I mean, it feels like they're throwing a Band-Aid on a massive wound here. But what are they going to do? They got 3 years, and they're not going to fix the problem in 3 years, but what can you do?
Well, it's interesting. The IOC, every time they've come for a site visit, they've said the number one problem LA needs to work on is their homeless problem. And as a reminder, LA hosted the Olympics in 1984. That was also the same problem the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, was complaining about too. And it's as if the local politicians have not learned their lesson. They're just saying, we need to put billions and billions of more money in. And at some point you have to say, Their policy has failed. It's not worked. It did not end homeless like they said it would.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.